So I've been making a game for the past couple of weeks or month or I don't know. Well, I've been making a game as a solo indie developer. It all started way back almost a year ago when there were all these Unreal Engine 5 upcoming games video popping on my feed because of the revolutionary nanite for those who know. I'd find the visuals of those games to be incredible and started to search for more of those Unreal Engine or whatever that was. And so the YouTube algorithm identified me as a game development enthusiast. I'd watch video after video learning a whole bunch of stuff about how games were made. I'd always thought games were taking place in an alternate simulated reality and that you had to be smart like Albert Einstein to make one. But then I stumbled upon Pirate Software's YouTube video, Make Video Games, and that's when it just clicked. I took the first 4 months to make and release a shit fan game on Steam, which I will not show since I'm pretty ashamed of it. I then took 1 month to make a sequel for that first game that I scratched because it was just as dumb. I then took 1 month making an Earthbender game that I scratched too because I felt that nobody would care. I then took 2 months making an orc versus human castle siege game that I scratched also because my computer died while making it. And so when my computer died, I took 2 months off of game dev to go and get a job, work, get some money, and be able to afford a new computer. I also managed to salvage the SSD, the storage from my laptop, and plug it in my new computer. So I was able to save what I had done. But the thing is that during these 2 months, I lost all momentum I had for making games, and I wasn't feeling confident enough about uh, pursuing in these games that I had started. Also, during those 2 months, uh, I always was thinking about um, what would be the ideal game to make. Because, I kind of want to make a game that would be successful, meaning that it will do well on Steam. Um, but I just could not find anything. Every idea seemed to me to be either too ambitious or too boring. So so yeah, I was left pretty I was lost. I was lost, didn't know what to do. Um, at this point, to be fair, I kind of almost quit making games. Just so much time had passed by, just making stuff that nobody saw. But I would not be here if I had quit, am I right? I kept on going, and I started a new project. A better project, a project that was designed to be fun. And so I pulled up an old asset I had made in Blender when my computer was dead. I was using the shit family computer that could barely run Blender. Uh, and during that time, I had made this little goblin that you see on screen at the moment. And so I was thinking myself, let's just stop thinking big and just make something fun. I had this goblin, I had this shotgun. I said myself, let's make a game with this little guy over here. So I had a goblin and a shotgun. Cool. Now what? Well, first of all, the goblin is a fantasy creature. So my world has to be a fantasy world. My goblin also has a shotgun that he needs something to shoot at. So that's where my childhood years playing World of Warcraft came in clutch. The goblin will be an inventor, and having a goblin inventor protagonist It just felt right to give him Gnome Inventor enemies. I also found out that lately having a Souls-like dodge mechanic was really popular and fun, but I kinda dislike having invincibility frames as they break the immersion for me. And so I thought about giving the goblin a dash instead, to increase his mobility and turn my game into kind of a third-person shooter bullet hell. And as for the gameplay, I need to keep it small scoped. With all my past game failures, well, learning experiences, I know I'm starting to understand the limits of what a solo game dev can achieve. But just to make sure and understand better, I went on Steam and bought a couple of solo dev made games. I played the first three, which took 18 months to make, and I also played Omno, that took 5 whole years to make. So that was really a humbling experience. Oh, and I also played Vampire Survivor. And oh boy did I like Vampire Survivor. Instantly became addicted. And so seeing how fun and easy Vampire Survivor's game loop is, I decided to have the same for my game. And so with that, I had everything I needed to start making the game. First step was to import my goblin into the game engine. I then spent quite some time prototyping the dash and shotgun mechanics. Now I'm making this video after everything has been made, so I can only show you the aftermatch. After that I made the jetpack for the goblins, since I did not made any for the asset when I first made it. After that I took a Udemy course on VFX for Unreal Engine, because I was quite terrible at it. So that's what I did for a couple of days in order to be able to make the jetpack VFX and the shotgun VFX. Now for those special effects, I also did quite some exploring and found a way to make a frame by frame 3D animation. So that's pretty cool. It wasn't even shown in the course. I played with it and found out that you could do that in the engine. After that was made, the goblin felt pretty lifeless. So I went into Blender and started making him some animation. Running forward, running backward, running side to side, jumping, landing. Basically all the locomotion animation. He still need some more, but for now I think I covered the basics. And so with that, I had a goblin that could dash, that could shoot, and that's pretty cool. But something's missing. You gotta have something to shoot at, and you gotta have something to dash away from. So next task was to make the gnome enemy. And so I hopped in Blender and started modeling the gnome. Gave him a really basic AI. Basically, he just finds out where you are and runs up to you. And when he's close to you, he swings his Westcott tool. So yeah, that's pretty much the gnome enemy for now. I still haven't textured him yet. Once the gnomes were added, well, now I needed a map. And from past experiences, making the map was the most time consuming thing. That's why I had taken a course on Blender's geometry nodes, which is basically modeling through programming. And so with that, I was able to make procedurally generated assets and quickly build up a large map reusing these assets, and by making chunks of structures that I could place into the level. And finally, I started to prototype the XP and level up mechanic, as you can see on the UI playing in the background from the start. I'm also currently working on this gnome mech enemy that will be the boss of the level and waiting for you on top of the bridge once you have leveled up enough. Um, but you will be able to fight him without leveling up if you want to take him level 1. So that's all for now. I think this is about a little over 1 month of work, but I'm not sure. I would really love to see engagement for this. Making stuff is cool, but I feel like it loses all of its meaning if it's kept in private. So that's why I'm making this video. I'm planning on making a series out of it. If you ever want me to go more in depth about how I do things, please share your thoughts in the comments. I'll try my best to adapt my content based on what you guys want to see. So thank you very much for watching and take care.